Tyson Fury's father, John, believes the fight is too big to take place during a pandemic. Tyson Fury's dad, John, doubts the mega fight with Anthony Joshua will be happening this year due to the pandemic. The fact that the contracts have been signed by the IBF WBA heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua, 24 wins, 1 loss, 22 knockout wins, and WBC champ Fury with 30 wins, 0 losses, 21 knockout wins, made mean nothing. What was it? They still need an investor to come through the site fee, the money, and the date starts to be decided on. According to John Ferry, he doesn't see that happening, and he wants to get Tyson back in action to stop him up. The Gypsy King Theory has been sitting inactive since his seventh round knockout win over Deontay Wilder in February 2020, which was 13 months ago. John doesn't want Theory to lose any more time than he had already by sitting on himself waiting for the Joshua fight to get made. If it doesn't happen this year, Theory will have missed 2 years of activity, which could hurt his career permanently. John feels it's not good timing for the undisputed heavyweight championship to be taking place. We need to get him, Tyson, out. Whether these Cowboys get the job sorted, which I don't think they're going to do, said John Ferry to BT Sport on the negotiations for the Joshua vs. Fury mega fight. What have they signed? They have signed nothing in my eyes. They've got no date, no venue, no nothing, said John. Fury should take a tune-up while the venue and date get sorted out for the Joshua fight. If Fury can take his day busy match in June or July, he'll be ready to go for November or December to Joshua. Overall, it might be better to postpone the two Joshua vs. Fury fights until next year in 2022. The pandemic will likely be pretty much over by that point, and the UK and the US economies will have rebounded by that point. In the meantime, Joshua can defend his WBA title against mandatory challenger Alexander Usyk, and Fury Deontay Wilder in the contractually bound trilogy match. There's a lot of money still on the table for Fury to make by resisting the Wilder fight. What was it? It would even be better for Fury to take that fight now while Wilder has been out of the ring for a year like himself, and that then it would be if he faces him in 2022. Wilder shows no signs of wanting to fight anyone in 2021, not named Fury, and that's not good for him. If Wilder's inactive for 2 solid years, the fight won't make as much money as if Fury fights him in 2022 or rather than this year. There are many good fights for Fury to take in 2021 to get him ready to face Joshua next year. Besides, Wilder and Fury could take on former IBF WBA champion Andy Ruiz Jr. or Dylan White, who won last weekend against Alexander Povetkin. It's all about something coming forward saying, right, I'll pay for the fight, I'll stage the fight. Where are these people, said John Ferry, about foreign businessmen stepping up to offer a huge site fee to stage the Joshua vs. Fury fight abroad? I don't think that they can get it together. What was it? Yeah. He said, I don't think they can get it together. It's too big for what's happening in the climate the world is in at the moment. I just don't think the timing is right for a fight of that magnitude. Just the state of the world, said John Ferry. It's going to be frustrating for Ferry and John to be sitting around waiting because it's already been a year since Tyson last fought. This waiting around for Ferry. Okay, this waiting around for Fury has got to be frustrating, especially with him not knowing if the Joshua fight will take place this year. If you're Fury, you've got to have a cutoff date in your mind where if the fight with AJ isn't AJ, you're walking away. Really, Fury probably should wash his hands of the business and move on and try again next year. Maybe by 2022, the climate would have changed, making it more likely a fight between Fury and Joshua can take place. It's a business for Tyson, and we need to move on, get a living properly. Sharpen his tools and keep him sharp in case that big night comes knocking, said John Fury. As always, I'm the Fight Talk, and I am out.